Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Olinger. I'm the Director of Planning and Development Review for the City of Richmond. It's been my pleasure to serve the city for almost 6 years as the Director of the department. And today we're announcing the launch of the first citywide master plan since 2001. And you all have no idea how thrilled I am to welcome you to this event. As you may be aware, lots of people ask us, what's the plan? How does all of these things fit together? What's the vision for the future of the city of Richmond? And a lot of those questions and many more we hope over the next year, 2 years will be answered, both from internal staff, but more importantly, the larger community. So it's a great day for us. I'm hoping it will be a start of a great adventure for you all as we begin this effort. But most of all, I want to just say one last thing. It's engagement with the citizens to create the best Richmond possible over the next 20 years is really what we're trying to do here. What does Richmond want to look like in 2037 at 300 years old? What is the city look like, feel like, and the opportunities it's present? So we need your suggestions, we need your involvement. There's plenty of opportunities for you to get involved. We need your questions and your honest criticisms. But stay in touch, be a part of the process, help us drive that future for the city. So I welcome you again. It's our pleasure to introduce Lisa Speller-Davis, who's a Senior Policy Advisor for Engagement in the Mayor's Office. She'll say a few words and introduce the Mayor. Lisa.
Good morning. As the Mayor's Senior Policy Advisor over Community Engagement, I'm excited to introduce the Mayor today. The master plan is developed through an enormous multi-year engagement process with the community. The project is especially dear to me because I came to Richmond over 20 years ago, and I am excited to see what the plan will do for the city and attract more citizens. I am eager to hear each Richmonder's vision for this town in the next 20 years. The master plan process includes many ways for people to give input, and Max and Rodney will outline that for us a little bit later. But right now, I'm excited to introduce to you the man with the master plan, Mayor LeVar Stoney.
Well, good morning, everyone. Oh no, y'all can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Well, I apologize for the heat. But as you all know, Richmond's hot right now, this time of the year. So my apologies, but this is a special day. Last March, the U.S. Census Bureau population estimate stated the city of Richmond led Virginia's 38 independent cities in total population growth between 2010 and 2016. We saw a net population increase of 19,028 residents during the 6-year period, taking our population from 204,115 to 223,170. As the population has grown, so has our housing stock. Between 2009 and 2015, the number of housing units increased by 5,318. Over the past 6 years, Richmond has added an average of 8.7 net new residents a day. That's pretty good. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Richmond is growing. But we only have so much land, and we are not annexing land from Chesterfield and Henrico anymore. We need to plan for intentional growth that is in the right places and meets the goals we have for our city. The master plan is a 20-year vision. 20 years from today, in 2037, we will be celebrating our 300th anniversary. What do we want Richmond to look like when we turn 300 years old? That's why I'm proud to announce Richmond 300, a guide for growth that will outline for our hopes and the futures of our city. Make no mistake, this is a massive undertaking that involves aligning internal City Hall departments, efforts, breaking down silos, and having one roadmap for the growth of our city. An essential piece of this effort involves you. Every single person in this city can talk very smartly about how their neighborhood should grow. We need every one of your ideas to come forward and shape the plan for the future. Because City Hall staffers use this plan to make decisions about budgeting, zoning, sidewalk projects, street projects, intersection improvements, parks, public buildings, economic development, you name it. And I've heard it these last 8 town halls I've had throughout the city. These are all things that folks will show up to at a city council meeting or sometimes show up on the 5th floor conference room and argue for or against. This is your opportunity to be proactive. What is your vision for Richmond when we turn 300? Come join us for this process and make your voices heard and be a part of this great vision. So in addition to Lisa, we've invited 3 community members to chat about what they like to see in the plan and what they believe is important and why they are involved. So first, I'll have Chris come up. Chris?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Chris Sway. I am a local business owner. I am the owner of Eat Restaurant Partners. Since I was 6 years old, I have been in Richmond. I moved out to New York City, but I knew I'll always come back home. Currently, I have 8 restaurants in Richmond. I own and operate 5 in the city of Richmond. 1 at Grove and Libby, 2 in Scott's Addition, 1 in downtown, and 1 in the Fan. I love Richmond because of its density, diversity, walkability, and urban environment. To me, the city's master plan represents clarity and transparency. As a business owner, it's a bit risky to invest my own money in these new ventures, but it's always beneficial to know what the city's planning so I can make investments with a little less fear. For example, I'm about to close on purchasing a property in Shockoe Bottom. I was attracted to the area because I know that the city's redeveloping 17th Marketplace. I bought the property because I wanted to be a part of the investment in Shockoe Bottom. And thank you to Ms. Ollinger, making City Hall easier to navigate for us. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for his vision of a better Richmond. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Cyan Crump. I am with Historic Richmond. And like Chris, I grew up in Richmond, but I never thought I would return. But I did. I came back for a great job in Richmond's authentic, livable neighborhoods. For 20 years, I worked in a glass tower by the James River. I saw the sunrise over Libby Hill in the East End, and I saw the sunset over Oregon Hill and the Caroline in the West. I watched the exciting new development new investment in Manchester's historic buildings and the revitalization of downtown along Broad Street and around Capitol Square. Now I work for Historic Richmond, and I'm not watching from a glass tower, but I'm actively walking the streets. Every day I see how our historic buildings and neighborhoods give Richmond a unique competitive advantage over other cities. Every day I see how these historic buildings and neighborhoods provide a key recipe for success for a thriving, sustainable city. Every day, I see the challenges that neighborhoods see as they struggle with the thorny issues of demographics, density, and development. To make sure that we have the Richmond that we want, there are a number of important questions that we need to ask ourselves as a community. What type of development do we want and need? Do we want a grocery store? Do we want additional housing? Where should it go? Should it go across the street from my house or on a priority street? What should it look like? How tall should it be? What resources do we value? Do we value that community building down the street? Do we value a park? Do we value those historic places that are most important to us as a community? Everyone's voice is important in answering these questions. We all want to keep Richmond unique, beautiful, and authentic. We all want a thriving, sustainable city with strong neighborhoods. You can help. You can join this process. This is the best way to get involved. And now Ryan Rinn with Storefront for Community Development will tell us more about that.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan Wren, and I'm with Storefront for Community Design, and I'm a 17-year resident of Richmond and an alumni of both VCU and U of R. After getting my master's in urban planning at VCU, I joined Storefront for Community Design to focus on community engagement in Richmond neighborhoods. I want to talk about one specific neighborhood today to give a little bit of detail on how this works. 7 years ago, I helped create a quality of life plan for the Highland Park neighborhood in North Richmond, which included organizing the community around a shared vision and goals. Because of their engagement, neighbors in Highland Park have seen infrastructure improvements, a nice new roundabout, probably the best in the city, in my opinion. They have seen a change in zoning to attract more businesses. They have seen the opening of a senior housing facility and the opening of a teen center and the ongoing decrease of vacancy around their historic commercial corridor. How? By showing up, by stating their values and truths, by offering innovative and homegrown ideas, by working with their elected council representative, going to meetings, writing letters, and agreeing amongst themselves to be better neighbors. And they're not done yet. They know that to solidify the changes they seek, their ongoing engagement is key. Here today we have a group of young leaders from Groundwork RVA. Where are you guys? Over here. Guys, this is the future of our city right here. These young people are working every day to improve their city, and we should strive to be like them as we embark on Richmond 300. Richmond 300 has the power to transform our neighborhoods to become the city we want to be by using the city and the people that we have. But we have to be engaged. You care about schools? You should care about Richmond 300. You care about multimodal and bike infrastructure and accessible transit? You should care about Richmond 300. You care about the James River? You should care about Richmond 300. You care about gentrification and affordable housing? You should care about Richmond 300. You care about access to healthy foods? You should care about Richmond 300. You care about entrepreneurship and business development? You should care about Richmond 300. Don't wait to be mad and complain later. Engage now and help construct the city you believe we are and should be. Your engagement in the master planning process ensures accountability and authenticity. Speak up for your neighborhood, your neighbors, your city, and for yourself. And let's plan for an always better Richmond. I'll now turn it over to Rodney Poole and Maxette Buchanan to discuss how you can be engaged.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rodney Poole. I'm the chairman of your City Planning Commission, and the number one responsibility of the Planning Commission is to develop the master plan, and I've been urging that to come forward. I was reminded on the way up here when I rode up the elevator with Ms. Cuffy Glenn that when she came to work here, the first thing I said to her is, we need to get the master plan done. So with her help, the mayor's help, Mr. Olinger and his staff's help, we're about to engage in that process. I want to recognize that we have a number of our members of the Planning Commission here, particularly Ms. Ellen Robertson, our City Council representative, who is an enormous benefit for us to have on the Planning Commission because she's so engaged. We thank you so much for being here. And the other members, Dave Johannes is here. I think Melvin Law is here. Yes, sir, I see Mr. Law in the back there. The wise owl of the Planning Commission. He's always there, and we appreciate his involvement. But let's talk about the many ways that you can become involved. I'm so impressed by our three citizens who have just told you in an emphatic and enthusiastic way that this is your opportunity to be part of the master plan. It is your time to say how you want Richmond to be over the next 20 years. I've been in Richmond all of my life. I went to public schools here. I went to the University of Richmond here. I did travel to Charlottesville for 3 years to go to law school, but that's the only time I've left. And I think that it's important that we all join together in this master plan process. But let's talk about some specifics. One of the things that's going to be the very beginning of this is the formation of the advisory team, which will be 15 people who will be advising the master plan process. Mark Olinger will lead that process. Max and I will be the co-chairs of that ad hoc subcommittee, and we look forward to working for you. Anyone can apply for that. What we're looking for is people with technical expertise in a topic that's related to the future growth, community outreach experience being visionary and strategic, and the ability to analyze and consider issues in multiple ways that are inclusive for all the city residents. But we also want people who just have a plain vision of what the city ought to be like for the next 20 years. The advisory team is going to be a limited number of people, but we invite all of you to make an application. We have applications here today, and we also have an application on our website, which I believe Maritza is up now. The website is up, so the application process is on the website as well. Maritza Peachin has been the driving force to get this work done. She is an amazing spirit for this leadership team here, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that a lot of this comes from Mark and Maritza as the team that are leading this. The advisory team is the most intensive way that you can be a part of this master plan, because if you sign on for the advisory team, you're going to be going to a lot of meetings. But it's not the only way you can be a part of this. If you're not willing to or want to be on the advisory team, or we're not able to include everyone that wants to be on that, you can be a Richmond 300 ambassador, which means that you would like to volunteer and conduct community outreach, because community outreach is going to be the guiding star for me, at least as a member of this commission, so that we get the input from the neighborhoods. We get the input from all of the people in the city, from the mayor all the way down to the newest citizen that's come to the city of Richmond. We want you involved. You can sign up to get on the Richmond 300 email list, but we invite you to all become participants in the Richmond 300 process. And now I'm going to turn it over to Max, and he's going to get you into a little more detail. But thank you very much for coming. It's an impressive group that we see here today. Thank you so much.
Good morning. You may feel like there's been a lot of people that have come before you to speak today about the importance of planning, and that was intentional because it takes a lot of people with diverse perspectives to pull a citywide master plan together. As someone who does community engagement professionally, I personally place a lot of importance on what this process is going to look like and feel like going forward. Ryan did a great job explaining why you should care about this and why you should be engaged. But we want to make sure that your voice is heard and that there are ample opportunities for your voice to be heard. So what's next in the planning process? We're getting the advisory team set. We're hiring a community engagement consultant. We'll be hosting public visioning sessions in the fall. And if you have any more specific questions, please direct them to Mark and Maritza. But we're going to hear from you today right now. So we're going to start a public engagement activity called Love Richmond. Everybody has some sticky notes, or you should when you walked in. So grab a pen, and I want you to write down what you love about North Side, South Side, the East End, and the West End, and downtown. Put one idea per sticky note. And then walk around the observation deck and take some time and look at the city and put your sticky notes on the corresponding board. So for example, behind me is the river. I love the riverfront. I love the pedestrian and bicycle paths that are coming forward as part of the implementation of the riverfront plan. I would write that down and stick it. We're doing this because we want to get your ideas flowing and to help identify the assets in our community. And we'll feature these ideas on the Love Richmond, or feature the Love Richmond activity ideas on the Facebook and website for the master plan. And afterwards, we're going to stay in touch with you. We want you to stay in touch with us. I'm going to stop talking because you've heard enough from, I think, everybody. There is cake back there. Please get some cake. Do the activity. Please, there's hard copies for applications for the advisory team. We'd love to have you apply. Please get those from Maritza and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
you've never received an email from me, that means you're not on the Richmond 300 email list. So please sign your name in and put your email address down. Other than that, thank you very much and have a nice day.